Today, I am talking about building creator programs for your clients. We're going to talk about 2 clients I have and how I'm building creator programs for them and what I'm thinking about. And also, I want to get your response and I want you to tell me what you think you would want out of a creator program, because I have access to a lot of money and I want to build the best possible program for up and coming creators, more so than trying to pay Ninja or someone for another thing. Not that I don't like Ninja, I think he's a cool guy, but we need to be building new creators in the industry of gaming and consumer. So I have 2 clients, Faraway and Zai Games. They both have different strategies. Faraway is about like premium AA PC games that could like work on console. And on the other hand, I have Zai Games. It is a indie focused publisher / chain ecosystem. They also have like consumer gamified apps. But in general, what is the creator program? The creator program is, rather than spending millions of dollars a year on creators directly to do one-off advertisements, reads, deals, and agreements, it's bringing a creator into the fold, keeping them within our ecosystem so they can learn about our products, so they can get firsthand experience to the products. They can get paid to showcase and brand and advertise the product. They'll have a much greater understanding of the product DNA and hopefully have a much deeper affiliation when they're on the ground working on that product with us. There's many ways to build a creator program and there are way more talented people at it. One group I recommend and I hire for a lot of our stuff is a group called Moku. Shout out to one of my closest friends, Hantao. So what I'm looking at is the Anchor Creator. These are your most expensive top tier creators. They're going to take the most out of your budget. Ideally, you want 1 to 5 anchors. And ideally, you want them to be diversified. Based on whatever your product is, think about where you want to market that product in the future and create an anchor creator for each who can be involved in the process or look at the things you're working on. You then want 10 to 20 creators that are from the tier 2 to tier 3 range. So an anchor creator would be tier 1, mid-sized creator that's emerging would be tier 2, or someone who is not emerging but stable in a specific niche that is doing well from a money and profit standpoint. And a tier 3 is someone who is new to streaming completely, but you feel they have a lot of talent and they want to work hard to become a tier 2 or a tier 1. An anchor creator is unlikely to leave because they're getting paid so much or they're doing so much that they're almost a part of the company. And a tier 2, again, you're picking a tier 2 because they're very stable. You know what they want to do, they know what they want to do, and you're just going to keep creating with them. A tier 3 needs guidance and resources. So this is really important. If the tier 1 shares clout in a really unique way to a tier 3, so the tier 3 can become a tier 2, that is a signal of a very good creator program. And this is where mobile games have perfected this creator program model. So the best creator programs are probably Supercell. So there are literally Clash of Clans creators where the Clash of Clans game is what made them, but Supercell has these people on lock. They're sending like gift boxes, cash and salary on top of YouTube ads, vacations. They're sending like insane programs to retain that creator to talk about that game or talk about the Supercell ecosystem. So like when a new Supercell game comes out, there's a lower cost on acquiring creators and a higher cost on like programmatic ads. So the creator program has to be built on stable incomes based on game revenue and based on the general budget that a publisher has to maintain creator loyalty. The next thing that I think is really important in a creator program, sometimes as a creator program manager or an executive or a publisher or a game studio, you should do things outside of the line that surprise people beyond what was required of you. So when you do something outside of the lines and surprise and delight, you're buying the ability to earn loyalty naturally. I'll give you an example. I know of someone who had a problem paying their rent. I talked about the idea of, hey, we're already paying you in the program, but how much is your rent? Like, I could cover a month of your rent. What you do is you don't ask for extra deliverables. You do it because you want to show you genuinely care about the creator's well-being. If you're building a game that's a live service or is meant to live for a long time, you are building a lifestyle. You are not selling a product. So you're trying to tell someone that their time and their lifestyle is better spent under your wing than another game. And that's a really hard sell because a lot of creators have already found their core lifestyle game. So the last 2 pieces of advice when building a creator program is don't lie to creators and provide a future retirement program. Creators burn out very quickly, and eventually creators either make so much money that they can retire, or they eventually need to get a job within the industry and then teach the next set of creators. There should be a career path into helping build those games, and that will create significant loyalty for the lifetime of the IP. Best example of someone who does this, Ryan Wyatt. Ryan Wyatt went from a Call of Duty player all the way to becoming head of gaming at YouTube. At the end of the day, we're trying to create loyalty and lifestyle more than we are a product. Now, what do I mean by don't lie? For example, I'm working on a game now. I won't say it's on Zai and there's one on F-Chain. The reality is they're not AAA games, and we don't promise budgets that are AAA level. We're very honest about what we want to do. And I think a lot of brands get this wrong because they try and sell Mars when they should just be selling the moon. And this is really important. I think about that all the time. Just don't bullshit, but be nice about it to creators. Now, to other businesses that are your competitors, don't tell them shit. That's the video. Take care. Bye-bye.